CzarThwomp here, and welcome to episode 52 of the Great Ace Attorney Adventures. Last time, we did some more exploration of the store. We checked out the storage room, and I got into a bit of a den because I didn't realize, hey, I checked the thumbprint on the picture, and now Iris has been scared by a clock. I doubt he set out to scare anyone.
Is that really the time? I think perhaps we should pay Gina another visit soon.
Oh.
Her trial is tomorrow. We must establish whether or not you will be defending her. I think we should ask her one more time. She may have changed her mind. Don't you remember, Runo? You told her she could rip up the representation papers if she didn't want you to be her lawyer.
Really? Did I say that?
Yes, you did. The deadline for submitting the paperwork is fast approaching.
In that case, we had better hurry back to the prison and talk to Gina again. Yeah, just making this so dramatic, even though we know Gina's going to accept it. This is Ace Attorney we're talking about. It wouldn't be exactly a case if the client just said no. 16th of April, 5:41 p.m. Local prison, cell 13. Ah, Gina, good, you're back.
Ah! The police should have finished questioning her then. Ow! How was it, Ginny? Was it awful?
Didn't bother me. I just feel like there's an echo in my den area. Thank you for the papers you signed for before. It means we were able to investigate window banks.
Oh, right. Don't you want to know how do we get on? We've been ever so busy.
What the police asking?
Won't change what everyone's saying. That's what I did. I did it. That's not...
Gina, we came to ask for your final decision.
What decision?
About tomorrow's trial. Will you let me defend you or not?
I must submit the paperwork now if you'd like Mr. Naruto to represent you.
Right, I see. She's really lost her fight all of a sudden. But I know what that feels like. The worry's just so hard to bear. Converse, what we've uncovered.
Oh, all right then. Blimey, give it a rest with them eyes, Iris. So come on then, fill us in. Who done it?
Unfortunately, we don't know that yet.
You don't say. We don't know yet, Gina. But Mr. Naruto and all of us know that you are innocent of this crime.
And while we haven't yet managed to work out who the real culprit is, there are a number of interesting facts that we have managed to establish.
Oh yeah?
Like what? Well, for example, the reason for you being there in the first place. I think I know why you broke into Mr. Windibank's that night. It looks like I'm going to have to take some evidence that clearly reveals the reason, and thrust it in Gina's face, or I could present it to her calmly, I suppose. There we go. We found this in Mr. Windibank's storeroom. The manuscript of Iris's latest story.
Ah!
Oh, right. Well, that's good then. Curiously, the storeroom at Windibank showed no sign of being ransacked for items of value or with one exception. The box file that housed this manuscript. It was you, wasn't it, Gina, who broke open the box containing the manuscript last night? You were determined to find out whether or not the pound of the Baskervilles was really there. That's the real reason you broke into the storeroom last night, isn't it?
Ah!
Why don't you tell us what happened, please?
All right, you got me. All right, yeah, this Baskerville story, it's the latest children's adventure, right? But it ain't been printed yet. So I figured it's gotta be worth a fair few pieces of silver, right? Oh yes, at least 5,000 pounds. What?
So, you intended to sell Iris's manuscript, did you?
Ginny, how could you?
What? Wait, no, hang on. Of course I weren't gonna sell it. All I wanted to do was find out if the manuscript or whatever you call it really was there or not. That's the only reason I was in that place. For Iris's.
For Iris's sake, isn't that right? Ah,
We knew why you did that from the start, Gina. Of course we did. But
I knew you wouldn't do anything like that, Ginny. I knew you just knew it. I knew I wouldn't have to break your kneecaps.
well, I saw the manuscript in the storeroom. It reminded me of what you said the night before. Grown-ups do a lot worse than that, believe me. Barefaced liars, the lot of them. You just ain't realized it yet. I'm telling you, that manuscript ain't at Winterbanks. You'd soon see it if you had a look.
If I'm honest, I have wondered if Hurley's telling me the truth sometimes. I mean, I sometimes wonder if he might have hidden my manuscript somewhere I don't know. Even though it's wrong of me to doubt him. Oh, Ginny, that was so sweet of you.
All right. I'll tell you why I did it. Just stop looking at me like that, Iris. It weren't because of Iris. That's not why I did it. I just wanted to know the truth, that's all. You wanted to know if Mr. Jones was being honest, if he'd really deposited the manuscript at Winterbanks. It's like I told you the night before. I never had a father. But Iris's lot ain't like mine. She's got her dad, only she can't see him. And I reckon that's gotta be odder. That's why she writes her stories. They're about her dad, really. That's what it sounded like to me anyways, last night when I was listening to what you were saying. Stories. Why can't I do my Irish voice?
Stories about Daddy?
I swear, why couldn't I do my Irish voice for a second? You mean they're not the adventures of a great detective? So much as the adventures of a great detective and his trusty partner. Well, that's how I see it, yeah.
You're so thoughtful and so kind, Ginny.
Yes, and we never thought any differently, did we? Look, give me a rest, will ya? I ate all this chummy nonsense. You hear me? I ate it. I swear I can't read today. I don't trust no one, Roy. That's how I work. 'Cause if you don't trust no one can let you down. So leave me alone. Go on, Scarpa. I hadn't noticed until now, but it's unmistakable. Right there on both sleeves of that overcoat are some very suspicious red stains. What? Why you look at me like that? I think it might be worth presenting some of our other findings in that area, Gina, now. We already have the representation papers and other documents we need. All we have to do is hand them to the court debt clerk. That is, if you'll allow me to represent you in court tomorrow. Nah, don't bother.
Ginny?
Rip them up and chuck them, would ya? Them representation papers, or whatever they're called. This cell ain't fancy enough to have a bid. So, what will you do in court tomorrow? I'll be fine on me own.
I don't think you will be.
Look, it don't matter. What's gonna happen is gonna happen. This is one stubborn pickpocket. Those stains on the sleeves of your new coat, Gina. They're blood, aren't they? Now that I know whose blood... Not that I know whose blood yet. What?
Blood, Mr. Naruto?
You don't appear to have any obvious wounds yourself, though. So could it be blood that splattered from Mr. Winterbanks when he was shot last night?
Let's not beat around the bush here. This trusty friend of mine will get the results much faster than anything else. Hey, take it easy, Iris. Too late. Don't move, Ginny. I'm gonna shoot.
Yes, the shooter has become the shootee.
Oh, oh my.
What the? Forget the sleeves. The whole coat is covered in blood. Of course. The black color of the fabric is masking the stains. That's why we haven't seen them up until now.
And the blood has reacted with the chemicals to turn a purple color, which matches one of the samples we've collected perfectly. Yes, now let's see. Who had the purple blood? Aha! Yes, it was that brickmaker, Mr. Mason, the victim of the murder case 2 months ago.
I knew it. What are you all on about? The victim, what do you mean?
It's a rather uncomfortable situation, Mr. Naruto, but I think this makes things quite clear. It means the omnibus case is finally solved. The truth about who really murdered the brickmaker, Mr. Mason, is revealed. Good going, Mr. Naruto. You let an innocent man, a guilty man, go free. You let him go free to terrorize London.
Oi! Would someone explain what's going on? Stop telling the half a story. The truth of the omnibus case. We can see now that the victim's blood is all over Mr. McGilded's overcoat.
But in the trial 2 months ago, the defendant said this in his testimony.
Now I ask you, what good I saw wouldn't wash the bleeding from his stomach? I wasn't about to start worrying about me gloves now, was I? I reached out to get the man a hand. And I gave him a big hug. But if you look at this overcoat now, it's clear. These stains couldn't have arisen from Mr. McGilded trying to pull the victim to his feet. No.
Now, if that was what had really happened, the blood wouldn't have splashed all over the front of the coat.
The only explanation for this pattern on the blood is that it splattered over Mr. McGilded's coat when he stabbed the victim in the stomach. I've tried to run from the truth for long enough, but there's no escaping it now. The true culprit in that case, Mr. Mason's killer, was Magnus McGilded.
Mr. Naruto!
That horrible case is solved at last, and I helped the man walk free from the trial. And then Van Zeeks, he's in a corner, he's clapping slowly. Well done, my well-learned Nipponese friend. Using your dirty tactics, you let a killer go free, and after using the freaking summation examination to your sick ends, have you no shame? And then basically Van Zeeks, he takes out his hollow chalice, he pours a glass of wine, a toast to you in enabling evil. I used all that twisted testimony and all that sham evidence to prove his innocence. How could I have let that happen?
Bruno, did you believe him, though? Did you believe Mr. McGilded was innocent?
I believed, or rather, I think I was trying to believe. I wanted to, because believing in those you represent in court is a defense lawyer's greatest weapon.
A weapon?
Before we came to Great Britain, a great friend of mine taught me a valuable lesson.
You mean Kazuma-sama? You mean the lesson of don't go startling ballerinas?
Listen, Ryunosuke. We lawyers are only human. We can't know for sure what is true and what is lie. Which is why we must resort to our primary weapon, my katana of power. An unwavering belief in our clients. That's all we really have. Unwavering belief? Only when we truly believe what our clients tell us can we fight with everything we have for their cause. In any battle, there can be no victory without faith. So I believe you, unwaveringly. What's funny, Gina?
Cool. Sounds like this in this empire of Japan you come from, everyone must be soft. Well, come on. Look at the mess it got you into, believing in that bog trotter.
Yes, I had inadvertently helped a murderer walk free.
Well, at least you've learned your lesson now, eh? Believing in people's never worth it. Someone always stabs you in the back in the end. Soon as you let your guard down, you've had it. Take a leaf out of my book. Believe in no one. Get hurt by no one. Gina, may I ask you something?
What?
I'd just like to make absolutely sure. What would you like us to do with these representation papers for tomorrow's trial? How many times do I have to say it? Rip them up and chuck them away. Are you really sure that's what you want? I bet that's what he wants and all now. Mr. I'm a believer, a lawyer over there. Don't forget it was me in that trial 2 months ago. I let everyone up the garden path, didn't I? And you're telling me you can believe in me after that? Not likely. Well, Mr. Naruto?
A lawyer's primary weapon is an unwavering belief in his clients. Ultimately, it comes down to whether or not I feel I can trust Gina after everything that's happened. I can trust her. But what choice do I really have here? I have to believe in her. I love how they don't even give you a choice, although I can hardly believe myself that I'm making the choice in spite of everything. Let's just put it down to one little curiosities. Gina, let me say it again. Please allow me to represent you in tomorrow's trial.
Eh? Are you half-baked?
Not at all. You've not once admitted to committing the crime, have you? What's more, I believe that you're not telling the truth. Yeah, the main theme, the title theme is kicking in.
Seriously, Mr. Nero Odo? Didn't you hear what I said before? I'm a born liar. Fibs just tripped off me tongue. And I'm a diver, don't forget. I pulled the wool over your eyes 2 months ago and got you into all sorts of trouble. Why would you ever trust me now? I just don't get it. Gina, I do understand why you chose not to put your trust in others, but I assure you, there's more to life than you yet to realize. What you mean? The world we live in.
Wait. Sorry, I just need to check who said that.
The world we live in is full of people you would do very well to trust. People who won't ever let you down. Eh?
It's true I'm just a student of law, and I'm currently lacking in courtroom experience. I can promise you this. Whatever happens, and until my very last breath, I am completely on your side.
What? What do you expect me to say to that? Then it's decided. I will take these papers now and carry out the necessary preparations for tomorrow's trial. It would be a shame to throw them away now after it's been penned in with your name so beautifully. Do what you like. You Eastern Lada, I don't know what you are. I don't get ya. It's all confusing to me.
Gina's taken herself off to the back of her cell. She'd never admit it, but I hope she's feeling relieved. That turned out all right in the end, I think. And now we move on to the trial, I believe.
Who's ever hiding there? Show yourself at once. Eavesdropping is the height of cowardice.
Miss Susato.
Somebody's in here in the shadows. I can sense it. Someone who wasn't here before.
What? I don't even know who it is. Blimey, you're short, boy. I suppose you were using one of those mystic Japanese arts, like the art of stealth I've heard so much about. If anyone was being stealthy, it was you, Inspector.
Crazy!
Oh dear me! I almost terribly sorry, your ladyship. I didn't mean to startle you.
I'm gonna put you in my novel as a peeping Tom!
Please, no!
And then you'll go break your kneecaps! How long have you been listening to our conversation?
Good grief! Listen in! No! Oh, I just got word that there were some visitors who were refusing leave, even though it was after hours. I'll show you, your ladyship. I only just arrived. This very minute, not a moment earlier. That's all it is. Nothing untoward, nothing at all. After hours? Is it that way already? So then, I'll humbly excuse myself now, your ladyship. Ta-da! Toodaloo! Cheerio! All the best! Bye-bye and hi! That's a lot of farewells. And not one of them appropriate for her ladyship.
Hey, but I want to have a chat! Out of curiosity, do you have any pets that you care about? Because it would be a real shame if their heads were to be removed from their bodies.
I'm terribly sorry, but time is pressing at the minute.
Oh, I see. That's a shame.
If I don't get this emergency at the Supreme Court down with sharpish, Lord Strongheart will, well...
Emergency?
Lord Strongheart? Nothing! Forget say anything! Anyways, I'm off!
Alright, Crazy, if you have to, but let's chat soon.
Delighted, charmed, can't wait, if you please, my pleasure! That's a lot of pleasantries, and not one of them sounded sincere.
Crazy's so funny, he said such silly things.
It's certainly entertaining to see an inspector of the police fawning to a 10-year-old girl. But anyways, I wonder what this emergency is at the Supreme Court. Yeah, McGilded's ghost is haunting the place. Oh, I am a scary ghost, and I am haunting this place. Why is my music disc? Why had you have it in your evidence locker? You must return it to me. You must sell it and give the money to me. You will place the money on my grave.
I must attend the court's clerk office now before it closes.
Yes, of course. Thank you, Miss Susato.
Kindly escort Iris home now, Mr. Naruto. I shall meet you there later.
Why didn't I have Gregson do it? He'd be more than happy, probably. And so our investigation came to an end. Susato-san went to file the necessary papers for my defense of Gina the following day. And then it hit me. I could no longer suppress the wretched feeling that had been gnawing away at my insides. Tomorrow, Susato-san would be leaving Britain and making her way back to Japan.
Naruto-san, it's been a very trying day, hasn't it? I do hope you're not too exhausted.
What about you, Susato-san? Today has been even more trying for you, I'm sure. Mr. Sholmes was shot before our eyes, Gina was arrested, all on the back of the news that her father has fallen ill and she must return to Japan at once. I hope your father recovers soon.
Thank you for your kind words. I wonder why it is that so many thoughts rage in my head like a storm, and yet I seem unable to find the words to express any of them.
I know exactly what you mean.
Anyways, I have one final task to complete as your judicial assistant. I must do one last Susato takedown. Once that is done, I shall make preparations for my departure tomorrow.
One final task? One last argument with the shovel. What's the matter with me? Why am I examining things at a time like this? This is my last chance to talk to Susato-san before she leaves. Get into an argument about the shovel versus the spade.
It's just 2 months since we arrived here in London, but we've managed to establish this office. It was finally feeling as though we were settling in. I would be lying if I said I felt no regret.
I'm sorry, Susato-san.
It's just so sudden. I really don't know what to think. I've had no time to gather my thoughts.
I know you've only been here a short time, but in my limited experience of the courtroom, I feel I've learned something.
And what would that be?
It seems to me there are many facets to people's personalities.
Facets?
And like a jewel, the light plays off them in complex patterns, illuminating their actions and their motives. But we only see a small number of the total facets, and what is illuminated is only part of the whole story. What lies in the shadows? What lies in the shadows? What do those facets we cannot see look like? Perhaps there are some parts we'll never lay eyes on for as long as we live.
That's so true.
Sometimes I feel as though I'm blind to so much. But I keep hoping that one day it will all become clear, that all the facets will be illuminated, and I'll finally understand how everything fits together.
Naruto-san.
I suppose what matters is that we keep our eyes open and keep moving forward, even if the way sometimes seems dark.
It's amazing to think it's been just 2 months. You've grown so much, but yet you're still so pathetic.
Sorry, I've what?
Oh no, it was nothing. Unimportant.
Do you know what time you will leave London in the morning?
Yes, I picked up my ticket earlier. I should be leaving here at 4 a.m.
I see. Well, I'll escort you to the station.
Absolutely not!
Sorry?
I'm sure you realize why I couldn't possibly let you do that. You have a very important day ahead of you tomorrow.
Gina's trial.
Yes, I know.
I know, but
Every word you utter will have the potential to determine Gina's fate. You must get as much rest as possible, even though, like me, I'm sure you will find it hard to sleep. But please, for me, do try.
One final task. You mentioned one final task a moment ago. What did you mean?
Oh my, I nearly forgot. Please, I want you to have this.
What is that? Some huge bundle of documents.
It's my notes from the case 2 months ago. The murder that was committed on the omnibus.
The McGilded case.
It seems to me that this case of Mr. Windank's murder, of which Gina is accused, is very much tied up with the omnibus case in ways that are not yet completely apparent. So I took the liberty of consolidating my writings about the case for you.
With everything else that she had to think about, Susato-san still managed to do this, and all neatly laid out for me in her beautiful handwriting.
It was my pleasure. I can only hope that it will bolster your case tomorrow for Gina.
Thank you so much, Susato-san. I will do my best to use it wisely. You really are the best judicial assistant in the world.
Well, that's extremely flattering. But I'm sorry to say that I've been a complete failure.
Sorry? I didn't quite catch what you said there.
Oh, ignore me. I was just mumbling to myself.
The McGilded Gates notes have been added.
Well, it's getting rather late. I think you should go to bed now, Naruto-san,
And I think I should be... Oh, wait. Yeah, and I think I should be ending the episode off now. Anyways, I really appreciate that you took on to watch this episode. You're a great viewer, and I hope you come back for the next one. If you like this video, like, subscribe, comment, share, do whatever you want. But I'll see you next time. Bye.